So you're from the streets? Huh?
Kind of. I grew up in the neighborhood of Rancho Cucamonga back in the 80s. I tell people that, but for real, in the part of Rancho that I lived in, it was ghetto. They were shooting up the neighbor's house. There was some drugs. There were a couple local gangs that kind of had like a rivalry, like right in that area that I was in. And I was one of the few white folks in the neighborhood, so I stood out like a sore thumb.
One of the coolest cats in this industry. But dogs don't like me talking about cats. So they heard me say cats and they wanted to be in the video. I want to introduce you to Thomas Louisignau, branch manager of Golden Empire Mortgage in Ontario, California. Thomas has been in the real estate business for years. He's a top producing loan officer who keeps it real from the mean streets of Rancho Cucamonga. Join me this week as we talk about lending, new construction, issues with HOA, and at the end of the day, we find out a little bit more about him. Hit that like button, subscribe, comment below, keep swinging, and we'll see you on the next one. One, two, three, motherfucker.
Is that it? Clap for you?
I got a clap.
You gotta call it clapper?
Pretty much, man. Just bringing my old days from when I used to twerk. You gotta, it's all this stupid shit, man, of like,
Twerker.
setting
I
this.
was never a good twerker. I couldn't do it.
I mean, I've seen you in Vegas.
Sometimes. I've done it once or twice. Yeah, I need this thing off.
Yeah.
At least I didn't move around it like your Barbie friend did. That was pretty entertaining.
I'm like, I was just looking at her like, what is she doing? Like, I just literally, you just saw me move it. Like,
It's a good thing she was on the skinny side, you know?
yeah,
Could've
she
broke the
wouldn't have fit.
microphone. These fancy stands you got here.
So, just to let you know, this button right here, so like if you tap it, you know, you press it down, you'll mute yourself. So like if you're moving the mic around, it's not a big deal, but just make
Does
sure.
it have to be close to your face or is it right
Yeah,
here?
close to your face.
Yeah.
It's directional.
Oh, hey, what's up?
Yeah, it's directional. So like if you're speaking over here,
So am I muted right now?
no. So
Lord
that's
knows
what
I need to be.
So like you see those little things at the bottom?
Oh, okay, I see. Right there.
So you're the right one.
Okay.
Far right.
Fancy.
See, there you go. That's you.
My boy.
Yeah,
That's what you're setting the tone right here. I like it. I like it.
Hell yeah, man. Fuck that. My shit's gonna look bomb as fuck.
I'll tell you what, man. There's people charging for what you do, and you do it on your own, and it looks better than what these people are charging for. I can tell you,
It's because my shit's dope.
talented, bro. You got a good eye.
It's called fashion.
It's fashionable.
Mm-hmm.
Is that what it is?
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was just skills to pay the bills.
Nah, man. Honestly, it's like, you know, people have asked me about this. You want a cookie?
No, I'm straight on some cookies right now, bro. I did forget my water. It's way over there, and I don't know if I want to move the mic to go get it.
Easy.
Oh, look at that. How convenient. This thing is tight, bro. Did you have to buy these chairs just for this setup?
No, actually.
No?
Jesus Christ, these damn chairs are expensive, man.
They match your shoes.
Huh?
They match your shoes.
They do, huh?
Expensive.
Nah, dude, these chairs are fucking expensive. I like them because it has this this handle, or not the handle, but the metal railing. But yeah, I'm like, let me repurpose the office furniture, and I had to bring him in here.
Swag it out.
Everything's expensive in here, man.
I know, bro. You got good taste. You're one of the swankiest dressers I know.
I mean, I'm not talking about what I'm wearing. I'm talking about like all this.
Well, if you're that elevated in your dress style, then the decor has to come along with it. I wouldn't expect to come in here and not see stuff on the wall, as creative as you are. You know what I'm saying?
I got to bring my paintings.
That would be a little more personable.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I gotta bring my paintings. Man.
Keep it real. Keep it raw.
Mm-hmm. It's I mean, I've always loved art, man. When we go to Vegas, that's what Laura and I do.
Visit the galleries and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah, just go to the galleries like the middle of the night.
What's the most expensive piece of art you bought?
Zero, fool.
Zero? You're your own artist? Who's your favorite artist?
Morrissey.
Oh, okay. Well, okay. My
You're
favorite.
talking about art.
Yeah, yeah. One of my
Um,
favorite painters, actually, my favorite painter of all time is Salvador Dali. You know about Salvador Dali?
That's the guy with the mustache.
He's the guy with the little mustache, and his everything he did looks like he was on some kind of acid or mushrooms or something. I'm telling you, that dude has such a wild imagination. But his artwork is it's one of a kind, you know, and it's finished. I see some artists and it's real sloppy and sketchy looking,
Mhm.
and I'm like, did you really charge him that much money for this?
See, that's the thing. Art is subjective.
Like Picasso?
I mean, I don't like Dolly either.
You don't like Dolly, bro?
God, no. It looks
Damn,
like
I'm offended.
garbage.
I'm out of here.
Michelangelo, Michelangelo, if you're talking about photography like Ansel Adams, but someone sent me a video the other day of an artist, and I'm like, I like the message, but Jesus Christ, that's garbage.
What about
Like,
Banksy?
oh, I like that.
Everybody likes Banksy. That was a gangster.
It's pretty simple too.
I just like the messages that he tries to portray
Convey.
in his artwork. Yeah, I think it's very very in your face.
Mm-hmm.
It's got some edginess to it. Could be offensive in 2023 because everybody's offended these days. Bunch of sissies out here, bro.
You're a very offensive person.
Am I? So I've heard. Sometimes I cuss like a sailor, and it's unintentional, but I feel like cuss words kind of accentuate your statement. Yeah, that's what my friends do. They're like, we'll be hanging out, and I'll be like, damn, dude, like around us, you could tell you're from the streets.
Yeah.
But as soon as your phone rings, my boy went to Harvard, I know how to turn it off.
But it's automatic.
It's
not even a thought.
It's because we live our craft, bro. That's what happens when you're a real pro. Yeah, you're a real pro, bro.
So you're from the streets, huh?
Kind of. I grew up in the neighborhood of Rancho Cucamonga back in the 80s. I tell people that, but for real, in the part of Rancho that I lived in, it was ghetto. They were shooting up the neighbor's house. There was some drugs. There were a couple local gangs that kind of had like a rivalry, like right in that area that I was in. And I was one of the few white folks in the neighborhood, so I stood out like a sore thumb, to say the least. But yeah, man, that's where I got my stripes from. There's some trained ninjas out there, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen some. I've got some friends that I'm glad they're my friends.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, it's like hanging out. I remember growing up in high school. There was this one particular group of people that I went to Chafee for a little while.
Okay.
Chafee High School. That's how I met a lot of my friends locally. I went to Valley. I actually graduated in a boys' home. I graduated in a boys' home. Mm-hmm. Yeah, my parents were having a hard time containing my wild behavior at a young age, so I went to a high security placement home at the age of 16. Yeah, right before I turned 17. I was in El Centro, California, bro. Right down there. They said I was a flight risk. They were like, oh, he's going to run. I'm like, I'm not going to run. I never run from my problems. I run to them. Right. You know, I feel like that's something that built a lot of character for me as an adult. I face the music. If I make a mistake, I own it. And I don't hide from my problems. I feel like a lot of people are hiding from their problems in modern times. That's one of the things that I've always led with in my dialogue with interacting with new professionals. Like, if I encounter a problem, you'll know before your client does, because I've got to prepare people in the process to navigate the news, right? But I mean, cats like you and I that have been in the business for a long time understand that our job isn't rate and fee. It's problem solving, it's creativity, and at the forefront, it's professionalism and communication. And even when you're communicating hard stuff, I tell my guys at the office when we're role playing or we're getting sharpening our tools, like, you got to master the art of delivering bad news. And not everybody's gonna like what you have to say, but if you're real and you're transparent and you're honest with people, sometimes those things aren't easy to digest.
Do you think that what we do for a living, right? We obviously do sales. At the end of the day, it's like we're salesmen. Do you think that that's something that comes naturally, or do you think that that's something that, like, someone who's not a natural per se can learn?
Uh, if you're teachable, you can learn it. I feel like there are a lot of people that are in their own head saying, I can't, or I won't, or I'm not capable. And if that's how you're talking to yourself, you're probably right. I think a lot of people need to get out of their own heads. I know a lot of people try to come to the mortgage and real estate business thinking, oh, this is going to be a great payday and I'm going to earn money quick. And they find out the hard way that that's far from the truth. You know,
It's a hard business, man.
it's arduous, but it's rewarding. And I think for me, because I came up in the refinance business, I was trained doing refis. The guy that brought me into the business as a loan officer, that's what we did. And to me, it became hyper commoditized, and I began to lose the enthusiasm about being a good steward and taking care of my clients. I always put my clients first, but at the end of the day, the guard of the consumer was always on a commoditized basis. Didn't matter your quality, your character, your company's reputation. It was dollars and cents. That's really what it boiled down to. And that side of the business to me, I was like, man, even if I'm the cheapest, I don't want people coming to me for that reason, right? Because when you go cheap, you automatically your mindset, the value you put on the service or the experience or the product is less, And if that's your mindset, then you're not craving high quality, and you get what you pay for, you know.
It's tough because we're in the business, you
Mhm.
and I. But if I wasn't in the business, then I would want someone that is not the cheapest. I mean, I don't go to the cheapest tattoo artist.
Nah, bro, you'd look like a jailhouse cat.
No,
You,
no, no. I can't look like a jailhouse guy because I don't want to look like I have jailhouse tattoos, right?
nah, you look good, bro. Your tattoos are fresh,
But that's what I'm saying, though.
award winning.
Award winning, yes.
Yeah.
LA Tattoo Convention. So it's, I don't want to go get something on my body for the rest of my life where some dude's going to fuck up. He's going to charge me, hey, bro, come to my house and I'll tat you up at my pad. I'm not 15.
Yeah,
You're like, what are you talking about?
I got one of those tattoos, bro.
Tramp stamp.
I
Yes, I know.
had to let my homie
I
Matt,
said Rancho
you
Cucamonga.
marked a lot of my friends, and I'm not mad at you for it, brother.
No, and I
You,
have a lot of friends that did. That's what I'm saying. Like, sure, when you're a teenager, not a problem.
yeah,
But when you're a grown adult and you're trying to do the right thing for you, your family, it's like you're not going to go to the cheapest person. Like, what are you talking about? Like,
yeah,
price is what you pay, value is what you get. And so when a consumer is looking for the cheapest and it's like, hey, you offered me a 6 1/4 and John offered me a 6 1/8. Okay, well the payment difference is $10.
yeah, $30 at most.
Right, depending on price. And so then now it becomes, can that person actually close the loan? And you're shopping me for a $10 to $30 difference. But what about, for example, cash to close? What about getting your offer accepted when the listing agent looks at, like, who is this company? Um, and it's hard, man, because the consumer, it's almost like they don't know any better, but I think they should know better.
Yeah, that's the guard that they come with. They feel like when they approach somebody like us in the business of facilitating financing, that it's a sales thing
Yeah.
and that everybody's out to get one over. I mean, current times couldn't be more relevant with this new program with the down payment assistance and agents that you and I know in the game. A year ago, we're turning a blind eye to cow half of buyers and all these people trying to get into houses that needed a little support, a little love, and then all the lenders that wouldn't do it because the revenue wasn't there. And this whole time, we've been standing in the pocket. So now, all of a sudden, everybody's an expert, and I'm like, I know you're not an expert, you know.
Mm.
And I saw a presentation the other day, and I kind of was like, let me see what this guy's talking about. Fellow loan officer in the game. He was doing a presentation with a little whiteboard.
All right, say his name and then we'll bleep it out.
No, I can't.
I'm
I
kidding.
won't do it. I won't do it. I'm not going to air out his laundry. But I thought when he wrote his cost on the board, I was like, okay, that's a little high.
Yeah.
Like where's the benefit to the customer if you're using the leverage of the state's funding for your own personal gain? And that's never been our philosophy. But when people come with that mindset and you're shopping a general mortgage product, you're dealing with the same people behind the scenes there.
Right.
That same logic goes into what they present you on a standard program that they would on an affordable housing loan. And their revenue models are similar. You know, I feel like our industry is going through a purge right now, and I like it.
Oh, I love it.
I like it. I was relieved to hear that a lot of people didn't renew their licenses. I mean, there's a lot of great people in our business, but I do think that there's also room for a shakedown. Need more professionals in the game, less riffraff, right?
It's someone I saw a Facebook post the other day, and they said, "Why do the majority of agents exit the business within, I think it was like 2 years or something like that?" And it's like I commented on there. I'm like, "Thank God," right? And but part of what the other comments were, it's the cost of entry is so low.
Yeah,
You know, it's like you take a couple classes at college. It takes you maximum 3 months, $500, and now you're a realtor.
yep,
Go sell real estate. You know, you're a lender, for example. Go do loans. And you and I have the opportunity to make as much as doctors, lawyers, and some, a lot more than them. Yet we only took a course that took us 3 months, and they went to school for 12 or 18 years. So part of what was taught to me early on, this is like way back in the Loan Toolbox days.
damn, Loan Toolbox. I remember them.
Yeah. Tim Brahim, Loan Toolbox, and then just recently even Mike talked about like, Greg Frost passing. I didn't get to meet Greg Frost, but I remember when I subscribed and Greg Frost had his system of in escrow, right? Like, so when you're in escrow, these are the things that I do. I was a teenager.
Yeah,
And part of what Loan Toolbox and Greg Frost and Barry Habib, all these guys that have been in the business for years, I said, I want to be like them. And I want to be like them to the degree that this is my career, which means I need to be educated. I need to know finance. I need to know taxes. I have to know all these things to really, really help a consumer rather than just be a commodity. And then when they ask me for what's your rate, for me to respond, well, do you want fries with that?
yeah.
Like, I don't work at McDonald's.
Yep.
And I was talking to Brett today, Brett Reichel, and I told him
Good
something
dude.
that,
I like Brett.
yeah, and one of the things that you told me as well, it's like when you have shoppers, right? When it's like, well, what's your rate? Well, what's your rate? It's like, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, it's like, do all your shopping. When you're done doing your shopping, I'd be more than happy to take a look at whatever it is that you received and give you an honest, sincere opinion. And I think a lot of times there was that fear of like, man, I don't want to lose this client.
Mm-hmm.
So you immediately want to go into sell mode versus immediately just say, yeah, of course, do all your shopping once you're done. And then the client can actually see that you have a genuine interest in helping them, but that you're also not going to waste your time with clients that are just nickel and diming you
Mm-hmm.
for something that you may not even have an app.
It's a hard knock life out there. You know, it is frustrating when you invest the time and you got the integrity, and then last minute, 3 months later, you've been working with this buyer, you built them all up. They finally get an escrow, and then now it's the nickel and dime game. That frustrates me the most.
Yeah.
You know, I've
Just
always
break up with me before you take me home.
yeah, come on. You know, can I get I can't charge you for my time, but my time is highly valuable.
Yeah.
You know, and it's valuable to me. It's valuable to my family and my children. You know, in the sense that like we're here, we're grinding, we're trying to deliver for you. We read, we study, we build systems. Like we're not application takers in our field. You know, I have a client right now. I spent some time talking with them last night, and I scheduled the call after 8:30, which is rare. I don't normally take calls that late, but the realtors, like, they both work. They need some help. They're qualified with Connecticut Credit Union,
Mm-hmm.
and they were qualified with Connected because it's comfortable and they get this membership benefit. And in 30 minutes of conversating with this client, at the close of the conversation, I said, "So what do you think?" And the wife says, "You blew my mind. Like your delivery, your professionalism, the way you explain your product, the confidence you have in your ability to perform, the feedback that you have from your customers that you take pride in the process. Like, yeah, we bank with Connecticut, but Gem Mortgage is our lender for life.
Yeah.
And I haven't even done their loan yet. But it was just breaking down value differently than the application style takers in our game that simply just fill out a 1003 and produce a number. They don't have deep, in-depth knowledge of finance, retirement planning, credit, all the things that we've studied. I mean, you and I have been in the game for a long time. Not to take anything away from the new cats in the game, because we all started somewhere.
I will.
Yeah,
Come get it.
come get it.
Come get it.
We're taking all the pie,
Nah.
all the pie.
I had I think both you and I are probably going to have those stories where people just tell us, like, I've never had a loan officer explain things to me the way that you have.
Yeah.
Whether it's communication on, let's say just a simple mortgage, or what's the process, like simple things that we've learned ways to be able to communicate. So when I asked you earlier, like, do you have to be a good salesman, or can you learn to be a good salesman? I think, yes, you can have an edge if it comes natural, but you also have to study and learn. You have to study human behavior. You have to study the ability to teach your clients. You have to study all these things to be able to convey the information. Not only because you know it, are you going to be able to convey a message properly?
Mm-hmm.
Right?
True.
Everybody receives information different. We have some clients that are just engineers, and they're very different than, a client that works and is managing, let's say, a team lead at a warehouse.
Yeah.
It's a different type of client as far as the information that not necessarily that you present to them, but how you present to them and how they receive it. So it's knowing your product, it's knowing all these other things that we need to assist with, and it's getting away from the commodity. It's getting away from just rate shoppers. Like, go online.
Speaking of rate shoppers, how do you think the market's going to adjust to this new possibility of buyers agents having to quote their fees to the buyers they're representing? I think that rule is really retarded, in my opinion.
Quote their fee.
So isn't that what this new policy they're trying to pass, where the sellers don't have to pay for the buyer's representation?
Mm-hmm.
And I mean,
is that the what's his name? The trainer that he posted a video. What's his name? Tom Ferry or
Tom Ferry? Tom Ferry's talking about it, but even at WeRep, they were talking about it also as one of the pieces of legislation that they're trying to pass right now, just to like further complicate the home buying experience outside of its consistent norm. How it
complications that we already have
for years. It's like, you think about it, like that makes no sense, because you expose the buyer to not being properly represented and their interests being represented. You force back to the dual agency thing, where if you're just a listing agent and there's a buyer that approaches you, you were hired by the seller. You're going to be looking after the seller before you look after that buyer, and that's just common sense, to place the position upon the buyer's shoulders to say, hey, for your representation, in addition to your down payment and closing costs needed for your loan, you also need to pay the person that's walking around with you. It's not like an attorney who has you file a retaining fee that has insurance companies ready to pay out their compensation. It's coming out of your pocket.
So what's this proposal?
That from what I understand, that the buyer's agents have to disclose and get an agreement signed of some capacity for their commission that they're going to earn in the process, rather than take the responsibility from the seller. When a listing agent signs a listing agreement, they do 3 and 3 or 2 and 2 or however they structure, and then the buyer's agent's representation cost is covered by the seller. They're trying to argue that should be the buyer's responsibility.
I get it, but I don't agree with it.
But to me, it doesn't make sense. Like, if you're trying to get in the way of home ownership, or you're trying to expose buyers to more risk, sure, give them an option to go into real estate without somebody representing them, right? Like, does that really make sense?
Yeah.
Nobody goes to court without an in-depth knowledge of law and fights a case with a likeliness of winning. You might spin your wheels. You might think you sound really good on the podium. But at the end of the day, if you're up against a lawyer who knows law, you're losing.
Yeah, I don't know what would be the advantage of that.
To me, that doesn't make any sense.
But I also don't agree that us as loan officers cannot have a buyer sign a agreement that binds them to us. But the flip side is I understand the reason why.
Yeah.
I understand it's consumer protection. I understand, there are shady lenders, like realtors, like plumbers, like contractors. There's shady people out there. I get it. It's supposed to protect the consumer, but you and I have had conversations where you fix someone's credit. You help them and guide them through the process. You help them for 6 months. You help them for a year. You're not being compensated. You're not being paid. And then they go with the builder.
Oh man, I hate the builders.
And then you're like, wait. So I fixed your credit. I put you in a position to purchase, late night calls, time away from your daughter, weekends, appointments at the office. Yet, as a loan officer, we don't have anything whatsoever that protects us because a client can always cancel at the very last minute and switch lenders.
Yep.
Now, the agents can get paid, but we can't.
That's frustrating.
It is. So then, like, for example, with something like this, I always think, well, why doesn't the National Association of, mortgage bankers, mortgage brokers, like, figure out a way to carve in something? I don't know what it would look like, but something to protect us and what we do in our industry. But yet, I don't know who's doing this whole thing with removing commissions from selling agents and having the buyers pay for it. I don't see a benefit to it. Like, well, what's the intended benefit? Like, okay, you have a proposal, but what's the intended benefit? I don't know.
Yeah, it just let's raise the bar higher on these buyers.
Well, it just raises the cost.
Yeah, exactly.
Raises the cost. I don't know what would be the point of that. To help protect the seller, save money, but at the end of the day, you're not going to have a buyer for it anyways.
Yeah, buyers can't afford their representation.
It's expensive, man. Buying a house is expensive.
Attorneys are expensive.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
I've had to hire them.
Yeah, that's not a good look.
Yeah.
Not a good look. Speaking of builders, man.
Yeah.
Builders, dude.
What's up with builders?
Well,
a lot of builders that are homies, but the ones that are not homies, what did Chris Trapani do? This. It was a joke he was telling me. I can't fucking remember it.
Is that fire your landlord?
Yeah.
Hey, that guy's funny, man. I like him.
Yeah.
No, but I'm tripping out on the builders because I realize the ease of opening escrow with a builder and what they do, the smoke screens that they put in place of the buyers to get them excited about new homes, while all the while there's so many things that the builders are doing to take advantage of the communities and the buyers in those communities. And one of the things that they do is to manipulate and control the process is take the buyer that you spent 6 months to a year building and say, hey, we're going to give you this $20,000 incentive. And although the rules say inducement to purchase is illegal and a realtor can't write that in MLS, the builders are able to do it.
No, so this is the thing. So when I took my continued education, I don't know, whenever the hell I took it, a couple months ago, the guy said that builders are exempt from that rule.
How and why? Where does that make sense?
He said, and he pointed it out. He said they have holding costs. They have holding costs. Land costs, there's something carved out that as long as you have those costs, you can provide that quote unquote inducement to purchase. So someone asked him the question, well, what about flippers, right? Because you have holding costs.
You have holding costs.
And he said, well, yeah, it's a gray area, but technically kind of yes. And this was at NMLS recertification a couple months ago. Both Mike and I were like, really?
Yeah.
Huh.
That's not what I've been told.
What?
That's not what I've been told.
But well, take it up with the NMLS.
About to.
So that's the part, man, that sucks because, and I talked to a representative from a very, very, very large builder in this area, and he was telling me, come and maybe film content and put out like our properties. We got a couple different builders. I think they had 10 to 15 builders. And I said, like, yes, I was in a dickish way, right? I was trying not to be, but I'm just annoyed with it. Like, look, we have qualified clients and candidates, but why in my right mind would I go record content where you are going to take my client? You are not going to pay the agent the right commission, right? You're going to do like a 1% co-op or a $7,000 co-op when the agent should earn, 14 to 20,000 on the price of these homes, and then you're gonna try to take the loan from me. Like, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Why would I do that? Now, his response, I appreciated, and he said, "Hey, you know what? I do have 10 to 15 builders. We're obviously the one that's hosting all of them. If you have a client that wants to go, let me know. Let the builder know. They're your client. We'll protect them. They work with you. They work with your agent." And it's like, in my mind, I'm thinking, okay, well, I like his response, but it's like I'm having to go out of my way rather than it be natural and normal for all of us to be able to have that, I don't know, professional courtesy,
Yeah.
you call it?
Courteous.
Dude, it's just cross calls. I don't want to take your loan. Like, I just want to make sure that you
Did your job?
damn job. And then I look at loan officers. I'm like, what are you doing? Your
Yeah.
income's off by $2,000-$3,000. And I've had loan officers tell me, "What are you doing? What are you, an underwriter?" I'm like, "No, but I've been in this industry for 21 years and I've never had my income cut.
Yeah.
So I know exactly what I'm doing." Or they'll send you a pre-qual with no DU. It's like, so then it's a pre-qual. It's not a pre-approved.
Yeah.
So,
Well, and DU is only as good as the information put in it by the loan officer.
yes.
The other day I was doing a cross qual for one of the guys I work with, and he's predominantly listing agent. So I do a lot of it as a service,
Yeah.
to help his clients. And we got a cross qual come over, and the loan officer was upset that he was having to do it. And I communicated, I spoke to him. I said, "Look, we have zero interest in trying to poach your buyer. My sellers in this scenario are buying a replacement home. We can't risk opening up this escrow and you falling out for ill performance." And then he's like, "Okay, well, I'll get you the stuff in the morning." And then the next morning, he emailed the listing agent and said, "We're not going to complete this cross qual. Our buyer's not interested. We don't, our buyer didn't appreciate having to jump through those hoops to get their offer in front of your seller." And so the realtor was like, "Ah, cool, no problem." 2 days later, the guy sends an email like, "Hey, so apparently my buyer's still interested. Can we do the cross qual?" They had already went into escrow with somebody else. On that same property, of the three people I looked at their files, only one of them was actually correctly qualified. The other one, they're like, I'm asking for stuff. I'm like, "Hey, what is this? And how come on this DU you got 13 debts omitted to get the ratios where they're at? That doesn't make sense." And it's like a deer in the headlights. All of a sudden, you can't get a hold of people. I don't want to put them out there in front of their realtors, but if realtors are hiring lenders to help facilitate their process, and those lenders are doing that with their buyer leads, you're wasting your time. It's a big compromise right there.
I had a client about a month or two ago, and he was telling me things, and I said, "Look, I know it's tough," because he was shopping, right? I said, "I know it's tough, but you got to make a choice of who you're working with. Like, and at the end of the day, I know my loan is better. Obviously, this other person came to you recommended from the agent. He found his agent. But I can tell you that I can assume A, B, and C based on some of the information you've conveyed to me. In order for me to validate that, I have to look at the application to look at what they're inputting. I have to look at DU or LP. And so we're getting, I don't know, maybe 2 weeks later, he sends me it, right? He sends me the information. And sure enough, the income was off on LP. Debts were being paid off on LP. All these things that I assumed,
Yeah.
I said, and I pointed it out to him, and he said, "God," he's like, "you were right." I said, I never want to assume the worst of people. I want to assume maybe they made a mistake, but I know my numbers. I know what I'm telling you. And the only way it works is if A, B, and C. And A, B, and C were exactly what I said. And so it's a great validation when you know that, what you assumed is actually accurate, especially like in our industry. But it sucks when that validation means that the client lost their deposit because they went with another lender, or, for example, this buyer losing out on a property because their lender or the client wouldn't have jumped through any hoops. It would have been the lender.
Yeah.
That's it. Like,
If
do
you got
your
a good
job,
lender
bro.
on your team, you ain't approving buyers without the necessary items to open escrow. Period.
You don't do pre-quals, right?
No, I mean my my letters come with a personal guarantee. And I tell my buyers, every single one of them, you will not lose money at my expense. When I've given you the letter, I've thoroughly vetted your capacity to finance. I am confident in my ability to deliver the loan, and I can meet these timelines with clarity. If there's debts that need to be paid off, I point all that stuff out up front. And yet to date, I've not had to reimburse anybody for their inspections, but I want buyers to know that I own the decisions that I make and that I will protect your money as if it were my own. And I feel like that is rare in our business, where people want to put that kind of confidence behind what they're doing in their craft, because there's a lot of people that are just rushing through the process and they're like, oh yeah, well, I got the credit scores, they're good. You know, I can't tell you how many people have overlooked a bankruptcy or lates in the last 12 months, and they're like, for sure, got a DU approval here, and then boom, DU doesn't like it.
Have you ever had high credit scores, really good income, low DTI, and do you just want to prove it?
We have a file right now. I'm like scratching my head on it.
I'm like,
what the hell?
I'm like, everything is peachy, right? So again, in a perfect world for a manual underwrite, 100%, you're good to go. But then you put it into DU, you put it into LP, which are the two systems that every single lender uses, right?
Unless you're USDA, you're using Gus
or that. You're like 40%, let's say, on the back end, or 38% on the back end. I'm like, dude, it's not approving it. Reserves, pay down debt, add a cosigner. It doesn't work. But if we were doing pre-quals, I'd be screwed.
Yeah.
100% screwed, because everything lines up.
Yep.
And then, the systems are saying no.
Yeah. I think
so, yeah. So.
Well, and one thing too is setting the right expectations. One of the guys on my crew recently had a family member that was a past client of mine. That's how I met him. E-Loans, my boy E-Loan Melly.
Thick thighs, Lamelli.
Solid, bro. This will his cousin, super cool people. His name's Eddie. Also, had a bankruptcy that he filed for the silliest of reasons. Like, he called us after he filed it, and we were like, "Wait, what? You filed bankruptcy for that? Like, come on, bro. Who told you that?" And so we had what everybody knows, the timelines, right? How long after a bankruptcy till you could qualify for a conventional loan?
10 years.
What?
Yeah, man. That's what everybody says online.
Damn. Google that.
Yeah. So you tell us. You're the expert. I just qualified somebody with it, so I already know it.
Yeah. So conventional with a bankruptcy is 4 years.
Yes.
Yep, 4 years with a foreclosure, short sale, 7 years.
There you go.
Unless you have extenuating circumstances.
All right. So that's a chapter 7. So what about a chapter 13?
If the courts approve you, you can buy in bankruptcy.
Okay. Yep. And normally?
It's after 12 months.
Yes.
Right? Yeah,
yes,
so
sir.
I've been doing this for a little while.
Yeah. We're all fucking quizzing each other.
No, but also, so trip out on this. So, like, one of the things was expectation. So at some point in that conversation, the buyer was under the impression, the client was under the impression that after his bankruptcy time frame, he was going to automatically be eligible. So he gets with his agent, a good buddy of mine, and they start showing him houses ahead of the date that we can even run AUS to confirm if they're eligible. 700 credit scores, had the money in the bank, seasoned, the rental property that they own is reported on their taxes, everything legit. AUS won't take it. LP won't take it. We brought the down payment. We dropped the price $100,000. We brought ratios down. Could not get it done. I don't understand. Added reserves. Gave them 12 months of reserves. DU would not take it. And we're like frustrated. Well, the buyer's upset now. Because he's like, well, I was told that. And I'm like, oh, crap. I said, no, maybe you misunderstood the message. Because we can't vet that until the time frames lapse. If I'm prepping you and you're going to buy in 6 months because your bankruptcy is discharged, we're going to do everything we can to put you in the best light possible. But it's ultimately up to that system as to whether or not you're eligible at that point for that loan. So then we came up with a creative alternative. Got it through underwriting, got approval for one of our seconds, second mortgage on an investment property. And at the last minute, they decided that they just want to wait another year. And they stayed out of the market, and they didn't take the line of credit. And he was frustrated. And I talked to him and I said, listen, let me help you explain this. And I broke it down for him. And he was like, okay, I get it now. And I had to send him the DU and point it out to him. I'm like, it doesn't like your credit profile. It doesn't like your debt ratio. I brought it down into the 20s, bro. It still wasn't taking it.
You know what's even more frustrating is when you get the message layered risk. And you're like, okay, what?
Where's the open folder?
Where? Where? You're like 750 FICO score, 20% down. Long length of employment history. It's like layered risk of what?
Yeah.
Where is it? And the thing is that DU is always updated, just like our guidelines are always updated, just like Fannie Mae came out with the update on cash out refinances and the seasoning, for example. So I may be telling you something right now based on guidelines because I can't, I don't have a crystal ball in regards to what algorithm change they're going to make in DU or LP or what guideline changes FHA is going to make to lower the mortgage insurance premium. How am I supposed to know that? Like, so it's tough sometimes where that's why I part of what really helps me, man, is and I'm sure you do the same thing too, is just my notes.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's like a call center, right? So like if I'm talking to someone and I could hear them clicking away, hi Mr. and Mrs. Smith, they're taking all these, well, my name's not Mr. and Mrs. Smith, but they're taking notes. I can hear them taking notes. And so it really, really helps that every single phone call I'm logging. So every call that we make, we log. If I leave a message, we log. Email, text, what we talk about. Because it helps when you follow up. Oh, we spoke about 6 months ago, and you can easily reference it. Imagine you were trying to remember all the conversations with everybody that you have.
Oh, bro. That's tough.
I mean, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
That's ridiculous.
So, oh man, I see you guys filming with Josue.
Yeah, Josue's learning some cool programs. He's working on the creativity aspect of it. We've made a few investments there. Just bought new cameras too.
Oh, you did?
Trying to get on your level over here, bro.
Dude, I need like 2 more, man.
So we got these little cameras. They're pocket cameras, and they have little mounts too, and they record in 4K. They're real small. They're very inexpensive. I think it's called DJI.
Okay.
Or something like that. One of our friends, he owns a detail company, and he's like, I got a YouTube channel. It's monetized. He's like, I make money on it. This is the camera I use. And he showed it to me. I was like, what? I thought you needed one of these big old fancy things like my boy George got up here. Fancy.
Nah, I mean, I was scared of this camera, man. I was scared of this camera because it's a lot. Like, so I was telling, I forgot who I was telling, but I went to, when I went to the tattoo convention, there was some girl filming and she saw the camera. She's like, dude, how do you work that camera? I'm like, I don't know, I'm figuring it out. And she's like, that camera is so complicated. And the ones that shoot with this camera are my friends that do film for a living.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I was so intimidated by shooting with it because you have to learn. So the quick solution is I just pull out my phone and I'll just start recording my phone and then like the mics and stuff, obviously like syncing the audio and then the mixer and then the lighting. So all these things are overwhelming, but if I don't do it, then I'm never going to learn it.
Yeah.
I might as well have a shitty ass video like 5 times or maybe even 10 videos that are shitty and it take me a really long time to understand it. But then now that I've gotten it, it just keeps getting way better and way better.
Yeah, bro. Your skills you're real good, bro. You got a lot of creativity, a lot more creativity than a lot of these media companies out here, and I think that to piggyback on your thing earlier, like, can you be a salesperson? If you're not naturally gifted in communication and sales, it can be learned. Creativity can be learned also. Some people just don't got it. They got the knowledge to learn the programs. They can get certified. They can get the license. But then there's other areas that they cannot adapt well to. And I see cats out there charging a gang of money to put together content like you're putting together for the people you do business with. And it's high value, bro. High value. I'm glad you let me come over here. I was like, oh shit, George wants me on a show.
Oh, of course, man.
That's my boy.
See, that's the thing. Like, I know it sounds weird, but I mean, you know my humor. But I'm like telling Diego, we're not fucking podcasters. That's not what I am.
Yeah.
I'm not a fucking influencer. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't look at myself that way. It's
Right.
like I am a lender.
Mhm.
That's my profession. It's my profession for the last 21 years. It just so happens that I like all these other artistic things. And I've liked all these artistic things for many, many years, but I want to highlight my friends. Like I thought of you. I thought of Wesley. Obviously Mike, like that was like twisting his arm and
Uh,
taping his other arm to the door, and it's just like it took so
did you have
long.
to time to this chair?
Seriously, dude. And I understand people's apprehension. I understand, where people are coming from because most people don't want to be in front of the camera.
No.
I get that. I love the camera.
Yeah.
I love attention.
Well, that's
It's who I am. It's like I love attention. I like it. I've filmed myself for I look back on Facebook, dude. Excuse me. And there's like the first video I recorded as a blog. It's cringe. It's so cringe. I'm like, ah. But then I've gotten so used to just being in front of camera. Like it's just natural to me. Like camera's there, okay, no big deal. But it's highlighting our friends and everybody in our community, people that I know, because I'm sitting there on Instagram or on TikTok, and it's like, I don't know who this guy is. I don't know who this guy is.
yeah.
But they got really cool videos, and I'm like, huh, interesting, interesting. And part of what went into my mind, just like it went with painting, was I can make my shit look like this.
Yeah.
That's my thing. Like I can make my shit look like this. What does it take to do this? If someone else is doing it, I could do it. Same thing with painting. Oh, like, ew, what the fuck? Who painted that shit?
Yeah.
I can do way better than that. I went to Michael's, picked up a painting set, and then a couple months later, I'm teaching a class raising money for charity for children because they wanted me to teach painting. And I told them, I was like, I've never painted, I've never taught a class on painting. I just started painting a couple months ago.
Yeah.
So yeah, dude, of course I'm gonna have you on, man. I wanna have more people on because people don't understand the value that they have. A lot of people don't. I think obviously you know your value, you know your worth. And I'm glad that you and Josue are doing the videos.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's
Yeah,
dope,
me too.
man.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah. Like get those creative juices flowing, let your personality shine. Like even just the videos that you're doing on stories, we're not supposed to connect with everybody.
Yeah. True.
I've learned to accept that. Like I have X amount of followers, just multiply that by 1% of people that don't like me. That's a lot of people. I'm not supposed to connect with that many people in real, like I'm not, it's just not fucking feasible to please everybody.
Yeah. True. True.
Just like with every realtor, just like with every lender, you're not going to align. Some people are going to love music. Some people are going to be religious. Some people are whatever they are. I think my platform that I want to provide is let my friends shine, man. Let them shine. I know my friends got so much shit. You and I have talked so many times, like in Vegas or privately, and it's like there's golden nuggets. And sometimes people don't think that they're saying golden nuggets.
Right.
So when it's a fluid conversation, it comes out.
Yeah.
Because it's just naturally who you are.
All the good ones. All the goodies.
Yeah, man.
All goodies. I remember. Before video was more popular, I used to be like, man, I got to get out of my own way. I was in my own head with it. I don't like the way I'm bald. I don't like my hairline. I don't give a fuck now. I really don't. Got matching hairlines. This is the new.
It's cute, man.
You
It's
know what's
like
good? You know what's good about a bald man? You know how he's gonna look when he's old too. Because there's some dudes out there that
I'm gonna look like Richard Dreyfuss.
Dreyfus. I'm just saying, to the bald guys out there whose back of your head looks like a Shar-Pei, like I feel for you, brother. Like, thank God my parents gave me a decent shaped dome. I came out the right way in the canal or something. I'm not too sure, but it got to a point where I was like, if I don't, I'm gonna die on the vine. If I don't get out of my own way, if I don't get out of my own head, if I don't start recording and sharing my experience and letting my personality come out there, you know. But clients I met today, it's their second house. Super cool people. So they bought their first house. They used Calhaffa, and they outgrew that house. Almost immediately after they bought the house, they had another baby, and then another baby, and another baby. So they outgrew this property.
Dude, you
And
should have like
bro,
left them some money to buy it, like a
oh, they're
TV
just
or something.
well, we set a good budget for them up front, so they were able to easily absorb that. And you know, the Hispanic community has larger family sizes than us white folks. You know, we're a little smaller in capacity.
I was trying not to say that joke, so I'll take it back.
No, but so they came in today to sign their final docs for this next house. They were going to go to Lennar, and Lennar was not paying their agent, who's also a really close family
Really?
member of theirs. Yeah, no comp to the agent. And then they were dangling this huge carrot of, we'll do this buy down for you. And so I just asked them a few questions about it. Well, their agent called me. She's my friend. Her name's Dolores. She's like, hey, uh, you know, Chelsea and David, they're going to buy a new home. I'm putting their house on the market. Can you help me with some cross calls? I said, yeah, no problem. I said, why are they selling? She's like, they outgrew the house. They got more kids now. I'm like, oh, okay, I get it. So why are they buying a new build? Well, they need a fifth bedroom. She works from home now. I'm like, oh, okay. I said, well, why new build? You know, they got a big family. Like, aren't they going to need a yard? It's crazy how big these houses are and how small the lots are. Like anybody buying new development, they're really giving up privacy and space. And really, in my opinion, a lot of the value of ownership, which is that piece of land that you're on. You know, if you can't let your kids play outside or you can reach out the window and touch your wall, you can
Dude, my
ask your
neighbor
neighbor
looks
for
at me all the
salt.
time.
Yeah, it's kind of weird.
I could literally look and I'm like, I could see you in the bathroom, bro. Like,
It's
I
weird.
don't like that.
No, that's why I'm not a big fan. I'm an old money guy. So, anyways, I started chatting with them and I started asking her a series of questions. And the next day, the realtor calls me and she's like, hey, they're canceling on the builder. Whatever you shared with them yesterday really piqued their interest. And I talked about Mesaros taxes and how they were jacking their payment up and how it's a corporate tax loophole. It's not a benefit to the community. About the HOA. And I asked him, I said, you know, you have kids that are teenagers. Like, what happens when they become of age to drive? Does the HOA allow for more than two vehicles in your driveway? Can you park in the street in the evenings? We're like, damn, I didn't think about that. And then I was like, well, while you're working from home, what about your small children? She's like, yeah, right now at my current home, I just open the back door and they go out and play in the yard. And I'm like, okay. I said, so what are you going to do here? And she's like, well, they have a park. And I said, oh, so you can work from the park? She's like, damn, Thomas, I didn't think about that. I got so excited about this new house and it's going to be ours and it's brand new. And I said, did they tell you about the design center yet? She's like, no. And I said, yeah, see, this is the thing. They put these really nice model homes out. And then when you get into contract under a price that's agreed to, then they say, oh, by the way, it's time for you to go to the design center. And here you're going to get all these upgrades. And if you want your house to look like the model house, you'll need another 35,000. Okay, the excitement of new is still there. They bought $100,000 higher home price property in Ontario with no Mesaros taxes, a big ass yard, a pool and a jacuzzi, and it's a 4 bedroom with a loft that they're going to convert to the fifth bedroom, and their payment is still cheaper than what they were going to pay for that new home. And they came to sign docs today, and they tell Melanie on my team, we didn't get to meet Thomas the first time, so we were excited to meet him now. And the guy on his way out was like asking me for stickers. He said he's going to put them up places for me. And I got to take a good picture. I'm going to share it later today. And they were like, we're so glad that we spoke to you because we were sold on the new build idea. And hand over fist, we're in a better place. We got more space. We're going to be the house to hang out at now. And we didn't even think about the fact that you're right. When you buy new construction, you get an empty dirt backyard. So even if you get the nicer model with all the right finishes, you still 10 grand on the low side. If you're elaborate fancy, you can go into your backyard $20,000 to $200,000 depending on how much space you have to work with. Like people don't think about that.
Those are really good things to point out.
Yeah.
I just showed Diego that the difference on a certain purchase price with Mesaros and HOA And then that same price with no HOA, no Melarus, obviously, payment difference was $1,000. And
Huge.
so there was like, what? I'm like, so it becomes a matter of choice. Like where I live, I have HOA, I have Melarus, I pay the high taxes, but I'm also a guy that has duct tape and a screwdriver. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not gonna fix shit. I'm not gonna. Nope. Like, if it's broken, it's broken. Like, I can't. I won't. I hate doing anything like hard labor. Like, or not even. It's not even hard labor. It's just man stuff.
Yeah.
Like, no, thank you. So let me.
Delegate.
Huh?
Delegate.
Dude, the guy that came in and installed my microwave took him 5 minutes and he charged me $100.
It was worth every penny, bro, because you ain't gonna eat those hot pockets if you don't have a microwave that works.
So I obviously had to do the yard, but one of the things was, and those are good things to point out to people because for me, I already know what I'm getting myself into. But as a client, they don't know those things.
No, they don't.
So when I installed my satellite dish, I called the HOA and I said, "Hey, look, I'm like first phase in. I have the satellite guy here. I want to make sure he installs it in the right place." So told him where to install it. I've been there for I don't know, maybe 6 years, 7 years. Call it over 5 years. And I've gotten so many bills from the HOA, correction notice, $700, correction notice, $1,000, correction notice.
Hell no.
They're trying to get me to change my satellite. And so then I got to go back to my emails, be like, you guys approved this. You guys looked at it.
Yeah.
Stop bothering me. And it's like, I obviously with what we do, I have a chain of emails and it's like, stop sending me this. But again, a consumer would probably have a different outcome. And not only is it to pay the fee and the fine and the additional for, like they keep like adding it on as if it was years, but then it's like, then I got to pay someone to get up on my roof. It's like, nope, you guys want to take it off? Go for it.
Yeah. The HOAs, man. It's funny because you
Look,
almost
my
done?
suspenders are off.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I just thought you were losing weight, bro. You've been looking extra thin, bro. You're working out extra tough.
It's
HIT.
it's what you're wearing, man.
Yeah.
What you're wearing is making my suspenders start to slide off.
Wow, that's weird, bro.
You should wear that
That's
more
weird.
often.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is getting really strange. On this here episode of no, but for real, HOA. So trip out on this. I had a client in Rancho, bought a condo, beautiful condo, and they replaced the windows, upgraded them nice, and they did a little fancy, bro. They got some custom frames. They got some like almost stained glass looking glass in their windows, and they finished them. And then they got that same citation notice. And then they were told that their upgraded windows, which were hella fancy, were too fancy for the community, and that they didn't go through an approved vendor. So they were being fined and had to remove the windows that they put in and replace them with an approved vendor's windows with the appropriate frame size on them. They were pissed. They lost like 12 grand. As soon as they fixed the windows, they put that condo up for sale, sold it, and bought a house a couple blocks away, and will never deal with an HOA again. I had a rental property up in the high desert, Spring Valley Lake, one of the best places to buy in Victorville. Great community, no Melarus taxes, lots of character in the homes, lots of space, lots of amenities. That same house was in the same shape. I did a little bit of upgrades. I painted the inside. I got a citation in the middle of COVID from them, and they sent it to the wrong address. It's an investment property, so they sent it to my neighbor's house. My neighbor don't know who the hell I am, so they just shredded it. So I never got this bill. The bill added up. Finally, I get this correspondence, and I'm like, wait, what? So they fined me for a dirty chimney. And I looked at the appraisal when I bought the freaking house, and the chimney looked the same.
Yeah.
So I'm like, wait, you guys are just bored looking to cite people? Needless to say, I sold that house in the middle of COVID because I was not trying to deal with an HOA anymore. So the properties that I own are not in HOA communities. The house that I bought during COVID that I live in now, I freaking love it. Old money, almost an acre of land. I would have paid for that same house for the payment that I have now in a new community. I would have got like a 5,000 square foot lot, and I would have had my neighbors piled on top of me. I wouldn't have had enough car space to park my classics that just sit there and collect dust. Uh, I'm just not a fan of the HOAs, man. That's just not my gig.
Yeah, I hear you, man. It's like in my front yard I have two trees. Um and I've even thought, man, I'd want to put some trees down like both sides or like right up in the front. But it's and again, I knew what I signed up for. It's
Gotta
like
ask
I gotta
permission.
ask permission. I gotta ask permission from daddy to put in trees in my own damn house that I pay for. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah, that's not the get down. Not for me.
it for me, what it's always been, it's once I get older, I'm still young, dude. I just turned 21 last week. So, when I get older around your age, then maybe
Damn, fresh out the womb into the originator
yeah,
seat,
man.
bro.
That's what I'm
That's
saying.
impressive.
Once I get older and I buy my, let's say, my forever home, I guess maybe, or once I retire, um, my whole thing would be like a farm. Not maybe not a farm, but like a house with like acreage. I'm not talking about 1 acre. I'm talking about like I got 20 acres. There's no neighbors. Like I fall down the stairs, like I better hit my like little like
You
I
got
fall
life
in
alert?
yeah, exactly, dude.
Yeah.
Like I don't want to see nobody. I want to talk to nobody. Like I want to go out on my porch and just see like bears or something like moose, and I want to have like little like a garden to grow food. That would be like the goal. That would be the goal for me. Not a fucking HOA. Fuck HOAs, man.
Yeah.
So
It's to me, like, I don't know too many people that are big fans of our government, but why would you sign up to have a little mini government directly in your community that is telling you what you can and cannot do, what you can and cannot paint, where you can and cannot plant, who you can and cannot have at your house,
yeah,
where your friends are coming to visit and getting their cars towed?
you know what? A
Your
friend of
friends are
mine,
never going to come over, bro. You got to pay $300 when their shit gets towed.
a friend of mine went to go look at a house. Shopping for a house, and then I asked him like, "Hey, man, so how'd it go?" He's like, "Bro, it's too fucking nice." He's like, I like the neighborhood, but I'm not gonna be able to have my bike crew over, my car club over. Like, I can't have barbecues. I need a place that's nice and safe, but I also don't
Got a
need
little ghetto in it.
yeah, I don't need an uppity place, bro. Like
Yeah, yeah.
I need a place where like it's our neighborhood, but like a safe neighborhood.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Like Rosina Ranch, bro. That's cracking up there. Have you been to Rosina Ranch?
I almost bought him Rosina Ranch.
Rosina Ranch is a dope neighborhood. I freaking love that community. I love the culture in that community. They do so many things for the holidays.
Mm-hmm.
It's Melrose, and they are a little tight lot wise, but and they have a little HOA if I'm not mistaken. They got some nice amenities that come with it.
Yeah.
But the community up there is awesome. They do like garage pub crawls.
Dude, Jonathan, one of my agents, was like having tacos when it snowed the other day. I looked on his stories and I'm like, yeah, thanks for the invite, bro.
In Rosina Ranch?
In Rosina Ranch. So when
I
it
love that
started
place.
snowing, like all the neighbors came out and he just fucking lit up the grill and they had tacos. But yeah, like it has to fit what you want. Some families some families are more comfortable with certain areas, but at the end of the day, like what I tell people, it's I had a girl um that asked me, I mean, just today and another family yesterday, well, what do you recommend, right? Like what's your suggestion? And I said, look, I'm going to give you my professional opinion. It's A, B, and C, but my personal opinion may be a little bit different because it's all a matter of preference at the end of the day. Like financially, like I already told you what you need to do.
Yeah.
But so like this family, for example, lives in Ventura and she wants to move to the Inland Empire. Her spouse doesn't. He's like, I grew up in Ventura. I have family in Ventura. I'm not leaving Ventura. And so I said, look, financially, you need to move. You need to move to like Lancaster or Kern County or Bakersfield or the Inland Empire. That's your affordability. You're trying to stay in Ventura, it's just not going to happen. So I said financially, obviously we know what the decision is, but when you're talking about personal I guess conversations between you and your partner,
those are things that you guys have to discuss as far as where do you guys want your kids to have to move all the time because they continue to raise rents? Right. So a lot of families have to move because they're paying 1,000 and then now they want to keep the 1,000, so they got to go to another apartment. Um, and just like the future and the stability that home ownership can provide for a family versus renting. But those are very personal conversations that I can't be involved in.
Yeah.
And so
When people ask me that, I
Mhm.
tell them I'm an old money guy.
Yeah.
Believe it. I believe in old money. I believe in old philosophy. You know, when it comes to that, I don't like what corporate America's done to America over the last 20, 25 years.
You don't?
Nah, bro. Not a fan of corporate America.
I love corporate America.
No? No, you don't, fool. You're a liar. Who likes corporate America? Um, I just don't like the trickery. You know,
The buffoonery?
the buffoonery, bro. Like when you buy, like, okay, well, let's be honest. Like, who likes paying taxes? You like paying taxes?
I fucking hate taxes.
Who likes paying taxes? You like paying taxes? I don't like paying taxes. Why the hell would you give the ability for the builder, the developer, to pass developmental costs on to the community and home buyers in the form of taxes for the things that the builder should have built into their budget when they decided to develop that community in the first place, like the fire departments and the schools and the parks? Like, listen, buddy, you're creating millions of dollars in tax revenue already if you establish taxes at the base tax amount in the community, 1 to 1.25% on average. But here you go in places like San Jacinto, Banning, Beaumont, those areas that have really nice, big, beautiful new homes, 3% tax rates, 2.5. I always cringe when I see industry professionals promote new developments and leave out those details.
Hmm.
You know, you get these people that get super pumped on the idea of new. Everybody likes new.
I
right?
love new.
I love new too.
That's why I'm telling you, I got duct tape and a screwdriver, and I'm like, I'm not buying old. I could give a flying hoot.
Yeah.
I'm not buying old until I get old.
Until Melrose taxes make that purchase a little uncomfortable.
Well, it certainly did.
Yeah.
But so for me, for example, right, here's a choice. I move 5 miles away, and I'm gonna have to pay $200,000 more for the same house,
hmm
right? So you know where I live.
Yeah.
You know, I just 5 miles away.
Yeah, it's pretty close.
It's-
I've been there, bro. You cook up a mean steak.
oh yeah.
Yeah.
So $200,000 price point.
I wasn't there for any of the dance parties though, brother.
I don't have any dance parties. Just the ones in my kitchen.
Yeah,
You don't want to be on my TikTok.
Fucking boogie shoes over here. Hey, bro. I got 2 left feet, bro.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes I can crip walk.
You can boogie.
Just kidding. I'm just
I'm
playing.
about to do one right now.
I can't do it, bro. I get what is that called? Camera shy. Start blushing.
The camera's not even on.
Listen.
Here, let me hit you with these rapid fire questions because I got to go to that appointment a bit.
Okay, you got some questions. All right.
Yeah. So try to
Am I
try to
talking to
keep
the
it-
camera?
yeah,
Or am I talking to you?
camera.
Okay. You're low on battery.
Do you have pets? Yeah, that's that. That's no worries. It's plugged in.
Yeah.
Do you have pets?
I have pets. I have 3 pit bulls and I have 3 fish.
What are their names?
My pit bulls are Gunner. I got Stella and Bella. Long story. I don't have names for the fish. Honestly, we thought the fish were going to die. My old lady thought it was funny. She brought them as a joke. She bought 12 goldfish. I came home from work one day. They're laughing. It's a secret. They had 12 goldfish in this little ass tank, bro. So I'm like, damn, they're not going to live in a little tank. So I went and bought a bigger tank. And she's like, I only bought 12 because they told me at Petco that they were going to die. I still got them. 7 years later, I got these. There's 3 surviving big ass goldfish, and my kids don't care for them, and it's my responsibility. So I don't have the goldfish because I want them. I have the goldfish because my daughter, she loves them.
But why would they die?
Apparently, they're not built for the long haul.
They're dumb fish.
They're goldfish, bro.
I still don't know how to play goldfish.
Uh,
Have you ever walked out of a movie theater mid show?
yeah, I definitely have.
What movie was it?
Back in the day, and I don't remember because I was drunk. I had to go to the bathroom, and I walked to the bathroom, and then I kind of stayed out there. And our friends, we were there with a group of people. After the movie was done, they came out, and I was chilling in the front of the place. I looked lost, bro. So I didn't do it because I didn't like the movie. I just, I had a little heavy pour that night.
I think I've had a few
I
of
hope that
those.
doesn't make it on the published reel.
No, it doesn't have to, man. I won't make you look bad. I got you, Playboy. What is your favorite dessert?
Ooh, my favorite dessert is lemon cream cheese pie, bro. Pie or cake? Lemon cream cheese cake.
From
They used to
where?
make it at Marie Callender's before Marie Callender's went out of business. Dude, that was heartbreaking.
They're out of business?
I think so. The one by my office is.
The one by my house isn't.
Dude, Marie Callender's. Go get yourself a lemon cream cheese pie. You will thank me later.
Lemon cream cheese pie
Oh,
from Marie
so
Callender's.
good.
Send me some pie, Marie Callender's.
Yeah, Marie Callender's. Let me get it. Let me get a slice, baby.
All right. So yes or no? Do you enjoy running?
In circles, as 2023 feels like I've been running in circles a little bit. I did before I broke my leg. Now it kind of hurts. You know,
All right.
that's why I got this little dad bod going on over here because my cardio games impacted significantly by my ankle.
Leo made it famous.
That's messed up. I didn't follow instructions, bro. You told me yes or no.
No, I know.
bad.
I noticed.
Do I like running? No.
Would your 12-year-old self think you were cool?
Now? Yeah. Because it was 13 when I started wilding out. So my 12-year-old self for sure.
Let's see. Do you believe in ghosts?
I believe in ghosts. I sure believe in ghosts.
Tell us a ghost story.
Oh, shoot, man. La Llorona kind of ghost story? I'm just like,
Llorona? La Llorona?
so I grew up on Comet Street in Rancho Cucamonga.
Comet?
Comet Street. I had a dog that I named
Like
Comet.
a comet?
Yeah, like the Comet, bro. And I'm pretty confident the house I grew up in had some type of
Juju? Bad juju bites?
little bit of juju there, a little bit of something. There were some moments where there was some extra terrestrial activity in that home.
Yeah?
I wasn't afraid of it. Have you seen that new movie, We've Got a Ghost?
No.
Oh, bro, on Netflix. It's funny as hell.
Really?
You got to watch it.
Okay. I'll watch it this weekend.
Yeah.
Do you vote in local elections regularly?
Man, I hate politics.
But you're always talking about
No, the only thing I talk about political is beliefs.
political beliefs.
Political beliefs, and it's not even political at that. It's beliefs in general regarding our personal freedoms and stuff like that. That's a whole nother topic. I embarrassingly, I've never voted. My voting privileges were restricted from my juvenile activities till I was 21. By the time I was old enough to vote and I had the legal right to vote, I realized as a young adult politics were a shit show. I would argue with my dad. President Bush was the president at the time, and I'm like, Dad, do you hear this knucklehead? Like, this is the speaker for our country. This is the leader of the United States of America. He sounds like a dumbass.
Yeah.
And me and my dad would butt heads about it. If I sided with a political party, I can't even tell you this here on any type of recording, but I'm a businessman, and I would go for the business side of Trump. You know, I wasn't a fan of him. My brother calls me Tommy Trump to
That's
be
funny.
an asshole because he knows I didn't, you know. But then I grew to like Trump in light of all the recent shit that we've dealt with.
Yeah.
I'm certainly not a fan of our current office and this administration.
Mr. Magoo?
What's his name?
Mr. Magoo?
How does his phone work? Stupid.
It's funny, dude, because like before Trump got elected, I was fucking scared of Trump.
Yeah,
You know
me
what I'm
too.
saying? Like I was
Loose
so
cannon.
bro. And then I got Hispanic parents that don't speak the language all that well. And everything that was being pushed out was like someone's coming for your parents, right? Like and
Haters.
yeah, dude, like if this guy gets into office, like my parents are gonna get the brunt of it. You know, when they go to the store, people are gonna treat them bad, like all the racism comes out. And I remember, I mean, this was what 6 years ago, right? Something like that.
Mhm.
I don't remember.
A little
But anyway,
longer.
and I remember we were at the other office, and I like got teary eyed when he got elected. I'm like, fuck. And it was because I was watching CNN. And I'm like, I was watching CNN, and what I would do back then is I would switch between both, right? Between CNN and Fox and try to, you know, find something that was fucking real.
Yeah, turn off the news, y'all.
Oh, I did, dude. I
Yeah.
did. After that, I did because what ended up happening is my pocket got bigger, right, under Trump.
hmm
Nothing happened to my parents. Nothing that CNN said was like remotely close. My experience with the public in general, my mom's experience, dad's experience was never negative.
hmm
And I'm like, man, I got sold this, not even a pipe dream, a negative pipe dream that never came to fruition. And I was so anxious. And now I just laugh at the guy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, well, if he's in office, fuck it, whatever. Like, put more money in my pocket, fool.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not scared of it because I also see also what kind of show he can sometimes be,
Yeah.
where he is a businessman, but he's also a hype man. He's a great hype man.
No filter.
Nah, dude.
No filter.
He's funny as fuck. Funny as fuck. But then the other guy that's in office right now, I'm just like, dude, like, what are you
Sleepy
doing?
Joe cheated.
It's like you're asleep, bro. Like, I don't see. That's one of the things, and it's like, how can you be president at 80 years fucking old? Like, shouldn't it be like someone in their 40s or 50s? Like, you know, maybe I don't want a 30-year-old in there, but I also don't want my great 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 grandfather being president either.
Well, yeah, and then they make policy off of ideology when they were in their primes,
Yeah,
which isn't relevant to us in our primes now. You know, business is different, currency is different, value is different, time is different, humans are different. You know, our
dude,
person.
you're gonna lose so many clients after I go live with this.
Yeah, whatever.
No,
I love my people. If they don't love me back, that's fine.
I'm kidding, man. I
I don't
won't
think
post
so.
that stuff. I gotta go, dude. I mean,
What time is it?
well, the thing is, let me text this guy. I'm gonna chop it up a little bit more. So, any topics or anything that you wanna bring up specifically?
I mean, we kind of meandered through some of the things that I thought were relevant.
I did. I think so too.
I
I think you
think
did a
the
good job of
dream
that.
for all is probably a good topic for us. I mean, it's a hot shit in the market right now.
So, like, what do you like? Are you getting a lot of phone calls from clients or agents or?
A mixture of both. I do feel that the rush is pent up on it. We got our first reservation in for some funds yesterday. Felt really good. The clients are super pumped. The agent negotiated a solid deal for the buyers. Got a 3% seller credit and the Dream for All program. So these people are spending like $800 buying their house.
What's the price point?
That price on the house is $455 in Riverside County.
So they're getting like 90 grand,
Yeah,
right?
almost 100,000. Yep.
Okay.
And it took them actually that particular buyer when I originally approved them. I approved them for 385 with FHA or with a conventional 3% down. And then this program started coming out, and I told them, hey, if you are comfortable waiting until the guidelines drop on Monday, there's a chance you could benefit from this program. And it took them from 385 to $485,000 buying power.
Mm-hmm.
And they're a young family. They got a bun in the oven. It's their first child, and they're looking to grow into a home. And it put them in a way better neighborhood. I mean, 385. Let's face it, in California, it's hard to buy something that's decent. And so they bought in a planned community. It's got a small HOA. It's like $65. Got a 3% seller credit, $455. They barely went over asking price, but they still went a little above. And they're hand over fist in a better place altogether with the help of that program. And one of the things that I've really been relating to people is I said, look, how many people watch Shark Tank? You ever watch Shark Tank?
I love that
I
shit.
freaking love Shark Tank, bro. I'm like, the state is playing the sharks right now. The state is saying, hey, listen, you might have a successful business. You might make good enough money. You might have good credit. You might be able to afford, but you cannot come up with the funds needed to place yourself in a reasonable position in this market. And the state says, here, let me front load that for you in exchange for 20% of your business. Truthfully, that money doesn't ever come out of the buyer's pocket at any point. Equity is a fictitious number until you've sold your home. So while people are focusing on that whole appreciation component, they're forgetting.
Are you having a lot of people focus on that?
Not really. I've been able to explain it very well, and the fact that the state was very generous, and the fact that they're not after equity,
Yeah.
they're only after appreciation. and it's not a guaranteed appreciation. They're betting on an appreciating market, which for me is a good sign from the state and the affordable housing authorities saying, hey, home prices are going to go up.
Yeah.
And here we're going to do this, prop up the market. We're going to allow buyers to get in with these rates while they're still in the sixes to make these house payments more affordable. It's a win, but the money's going to go super, super fast. I was looking at reservations from GEM, and we've already started eating that program up. And I
Yeah.
know we're not the only company.
I was, I mean, just from Monday to today, I was telling people it's like $1 million. You know, like, or and obviously these aren't. Some are in escrow, but then like the other ones are pre-approvals that we're issuing.
Yeah.
So it's like here goes 100,000, here goes 150,000. Like that money's
Gone.
gone. That
Gone.
money's going, man.
The state projected 6 months. I'm guessing 60 days.
I'd say so. The last program was 6 months, and then after the 6 month period, it opened up for 60 days for the reservations that were blocked, but never actually never went to close. I would say on this, I would be at 3 to 6 months max. Like 60 days, that's like,
Well, so I've heard some of
Yeah.
the builders are using this, which is a disadvantage to the community because they already have the addresses. They can submit their reservations early, you know. And so I'm not happy that the state offered it to builders and developers.
mhm.
I feel like that should be for the resale market. I don't feel like builders with that whole credit factor should have access to a tool that powerful, which would open up opportunity for those buyers to say, hey, I'm going to stick with George and the team at Integrity because they got this really dope program that's saving me thousands of dollars.
I think you should,
Promote that.
petition.
I already emailed Cal Haffa and I asked
Yeah.
straight up. Yep. I said, hey, like,
dude, I think they're getting so bombarded. Henrietta emailed them. I've emailed them. I've called them. Plus whatever,
Chris, the guy from Cal Haffa, emailed me back after like 2 weeks. I said, hey, dude, I'm trying to do some promotion of this program. I need your logos. I want clean logos.
Mhm.
And he's like, oh, man, I'm sorry. I'm just seeing this. And he sent them to me. So we got them now, but we had already got our videos out.
Yeah.
I'm tripping on the quality of structure that the state put into this program. Like literally the most money ever funded for first-time home buyers that I've experienced with the least amount of catch to it. Like San Bernardino County has a
God.
program. What's that? 50% equity share. What's the one for Rancho? 50% also, right? 80,000?
Riverside, LA
Okay.
County, and then the
50%.
income limits are like here.
Yeah.
Household family size is like here. You have to have your DTI be here, but no more than here. And I'm just like, and
You
then
really?
it takes 4 months or
Yeah,
3.
no.
But hey, man, I gotta go over there. They said the clients are there.
Cal HFA all day for the win right now, propping up the market, making it happen for buyers, saving them a lot of money. I did a scenario on our way out, and the buyer on a $650,000 house was saving a little over $700 a month. And I said, let's just hypothetically assume that your house goes up $100,000 over the next 5 years and you decide to sell. Let's do that. Save about $750 times 12. It's $9,000 a year. Times 5, $42,000, or right in the 40s, low 40s. And you got the $100,000 of appreciation. So when you pay back your $130,000 that they gave you to get in there, and your 20% of 100, that's $155,000. You've still got $80,000 ahead, and in the meantime, you saved over $40,000 in your pocket. So who really was the winner there? The buyer, the visionary, the person who took advantage of that opportunity. And that's truthful to say it to your 3 to 6 month window or my projection of 60 days, that these funds are going to go quick because there's unlimited amount of potential there for those that have been on the sidelines because they can't afford it right now,
I don't think any of us would ever let our family, friends, or loved ones borrow that much money with 0 strings attached, or the strings attached that like Cal HFA is offering. It's like that rich padrino, or it's like that rich uncle
Yeah.
that has that money that says, you know what, man, I love you. Like, here's some money. I'm really not interested in making a lot of money. Like, I just want to take care of you. Here you go. Like, you're being responsible. You're taking care of your shit. Let me hook you up. But a homie coming and telling me like, "Yo, dude, let me borrow $150,000 and I'll pay you back in 30 years with no interest." What?
No, no,
No.
I'm good.
Like, or even the My Home program, or even the Zip program. It's like 0% interest or 1% simple interest. It's like the state's not really making money off of you. They're banking on the fact that they want to continue to prop up the local economy, prop up California, more homeowners. Obviously, it creates a different economic environment, and I think socioeconomic environment as far as people are concerned when they become homeowners. So, yeah, I mean, Cal HFA is it's a great institution. It's a great program, obviously, to the state of California, and they're definitely just providing home ownership for the families that can't afford fucking rents. They're crazy, and they keep going up.
And rent is 100% interest with no tax benefits.
Rent is due.
Paid dues, baby.
Oh shit! I really